Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Rare coins and incredible stories collide to reveal the hidden treasures that might be lying unnoticed in your pocket change. And today's mind-blowing episode revolves around a coin that has stunned collectors, experts, and investors alike. The legendary 1981 D1 cent coin, a penny so elusive, so historically unique, and so technically riddled with extraordinary minting errors that it has recently been valued at an eye-watering $192 million, making it not only one of the most expensive coins on the planet but also a numismatic masterpiece that serves as a once-in-a-generation discovery that shattered auction records and rewrote the very definition of minting. Perfection gone beautifully wrong. And as we dive into the heart of this sensational story, we invite you to buckle up and immerse yourself in the intricate tale of how a simple copper-plated zinc coin, struck in the Denver Mint in the year 1981, ended up carrying a value that outpaces most works of fine art, vintage automobiles, and even high-end real estate, a value that was unlocked through an astonishing series of minting mishaps, human oversight, mechanical anomalies, and the freak alignment of production variables that together birthed a one-of-a-kind coin unlike any other known to exist from that era. And to truly appreciate the magnitude of this coin's significance, we must journey back to the transition period of US coin production when copper was being phased out in favor of a less expensive copper-plated zinc planchette, a change motivated by economic pressure and rising metal costs. And during this flux, the Denver Mint faced the immense challenge of implementing new processes, recalibrating machinery, retraining staff, and ensuring the continuity of flawless coin production. But despite these efforts, the process was not immune to complications, and in the case of this particular 1981 D penny, the anomalies began right at the planchette level, as metallurgical analysis later confirmed that the coin in question was struck on a transitional planchette that contained trace amounts of tin and had a metallurgic profile more closely resembling that of coins struck in 1980 than in 1981, indicating a rare mixing of old copper stock with new zinc supplies, a mistake that alone would make the coin rare but not necessarily astronomically valuable. Yet what happened next is what pushed it into numismatic legend, because when this flawed planchette was introduced into the coining press, it encountered a misaligned die assembly, resulting in a dramatic off-center strike where the obverse and reverse images were significantly rotated against each other by nearly 40 degrees, creating what experts refer to as a rotational die error. And the obverse, the side bearing Abraham Lincoln's profile, was both weakly struck and ghostly in appearance due to insufficient striking pressure and die wear, while the reverse showed doubling in the 1 cent lettering as well as a partial blockage effect caused by a previously stuck planchette that had failed to eject, meaning remnants of that planchette were transferred onto the next coin, producing a freakish and rare reverse impression that resembled a shadow image of itself. And as if that weren't enough to intrigue collectors, the mint mark D for Denver had been punched manually into the working die, and in this case, the mint mark was both crooked and deeply overpunched, showing clear remnants of a previous misplaced D mark underneath, creating a visible D over D error known as a repunched mint mark or RPM, which collectors prize dearly due to their rarity, especially when combined with other errors. And further examination under scanning electron microscopy revealed microscopic cracks running across the coin's surface, known as die cracks, forming a spiderweb pattern that was both aesthetically fascinating and mechanically rare, as it indicated a die that was nearing the end of its life cycle, producing coins that became increasingly flawed with each strike. And the rims of the coin bore what experts identified as a double rim, a condition that occurs when the collar die is misaligned during striking, causing two concentric raised edges to form instead of one. And this adds yet another layer of visual and structural uniqueness to the coin. And moving deeper into the analysis, numismatists noted that the date, 1981, showed signs of mechanical doubling, especially on the digits 8 and 1, creating a blurry, almost vibrating appearance to the numerals, which confused even seasoned experts at first until specialized lighting and photographic enhancements revealed it to be a classic case of machine doubling that mimicked the appearance of a doubled die, an error that often deceives collectors but in this case was verified as authentic due to the simultaneous presence of a true doubled die on the reverse in the United States of America legend, where the letters appeared shadowed and layered, signifying an actual doubling on the master die itself. And this combination of mechanical doubling on the obverse and true doubling on the reverse is considered unprecedented in any 1981 penny known to date, leading many to believe this coin was the result of a chaotic and error-prone production shift at the Denver Mint during a weekend or late-night run when experienced operators may have been replaced by less familiar, temporary staff, and further mystery was added when it was discovered that the coin was actually struck not once, not twice, but 3 times, a triple strike error, each strike slightly off from the previous one, leading to a ghosting effect around Lincoln's profile and making his face appear 3-dimensional and almost holographic under magnification. And this stacking of strike impressions is among the rarest of mint errors and suggests a coin that somehow slipped past quality control entirely, evading detection due to its off-color and erratic physical form, and perhaps being bundled into a roll and distributed before the flaw could be recognized. And for decades it remained unnoticed, passed from hand to hand, from pocket to piggy bank, surviving recessions, inflation, and the rise of digital currency until it resurfaced in a Midwestern estate sale where an amateur collector picked it up in a bulk coin lot for less than $1, only to later send it for grading out of sheer curiosity. And when the slab came back with the authentication of not only a genuine 1981 D1 cent but also a laundry list of minting errors including off-metal planchette, triple strike, rotational die misalignment, repunched mint mark, machine doubling, true double die reverse, die cracks, brokerage impression, and double rim, all on one single coin, it immediately caught the attention of high-end collectors and institutions who realized that such a confluence of errors on a single coin had never been documented before, prompting an all-outbidding war at an elite numismatic auction where private bidders and museums competed furiously to secure this once-in-a-lifetime artifact, eventually driving the final hammer price to $192 million, an amount that left even the most seasoned auctioneers in stunned silence. And since that day, the coin has become the subject of countless articles, documentaries, forensic studies, and even a feature-length film proposal, with its story serving as a beacon to coin hunters worldwide who now look at every 1981 D penny they find with renewed hope, wondering if lightning might strike twice. And experts agree that while the odds are astronomical, the very existence of this coin proves that even in mass production environments where uniformity is the goal, the unpredictable hand of human error and machine failure can create extraordinary anomalies that, when discovered, can redefine what we believe is possible in coin collecting. And that is why this 1981 D1 cent is not just a coin. It is a miracle of mistakes, a masterpiece of imperfection, and a testament to the idea that value isn't always about what something was meant to be, but rather about what it uniquely became. And for collectors everywhere, it represents the ultimate dream, proof that greatness can come from error, fortune from flaw, and history from the humblest of beginnings. Next 2004 1 cent USA coin, we bring you the most fascinating stories about coins that have defied all odds, shaken the world of numismatics, and stunned collectors and investors with their unexpected value and jaw-dropping rarity. And today we present one of the most thrilling discoveries in recent times, a coin so mysterious and rich in minting errors that it has left seasoned experts speechless and enthusiastic treasure hunters scrambling to check their own collections. We are talking about none other than the astonishing 2004 1 cent coin that has taken the numismatic world by storm, not because it was minted with any intention of grandeur or commemoration, but because of an unbelievable series of rare and compounding minting mistakes that transformed this ordinary penny into a $62 million treasure. And as we dig deep into the story behind how this seemingly insignificant coin turned into one of the most valuable cents to ever grace the hands of a collector, we invite you to stay with us and prepare for a wild journey filled with minting errors, transitional oddities, planchette mysteries, die catastrophes, mechanical missteps, and an origin story that reads like a plot from a suspense thriller, starting with the background of the United States Mint in 2004, a time when the country was already deep into the use of copper-plated zinc planchets for pennies, having moved away from the original copper composition due to rising metal costs decades earlier. And in this era of high-speed production, mass output, and technological precision, mistakes were supposed to be fewer and less dramatic. Yet ironically, it is during these times that the most unique minting anomalies can arise because of the sheer scale of operations combined with moments of technical oversight. And in this case, the 2004 1 cent that emerged as a global sensation was not just the result of one single flaw, but a rare stacking of multiple independent errors that occurred simultaneously during its creation. And it all began with the planchette itself. As further metallurgical analysis would reveal, this particular coin was not struck on the standard copper-plated zinc planchette at all, but on a planchette intended for foreign coinage, most likely from a discontinued batch of planchets reserved for a South American currency or an experimental internal project, making it an off-metal strike. And the metal composition, rather than the expected 97.5% zinc with a 2.5% copper plating, was instead a mysterious alloy mix containing traces of nickel, tin, and even aluminum, resulting in a noticeably different surface luster and weight when compared to typical 2004 1 cent coins. And this composition not only confused collectors but also baffled grading experts, who later confirmed it as a transitional error from a rogue blank that had been mistakenly fed into the striking press. And once the coin entered the press, further chaos unfolded, as the obverse die, bearing the profile of President Abraham Lincoln, was severely misaligned, causing the strike to land off-center by nearly 20%, pushing Lincoln's bust partially off the coin's surface and leaving the northern edge of the coin completely blank while compressing the date and mint mark into a distorted crescent near the bottom of the coin. And this off-center strike was not a simple misalignment, but one combined with a rotated die error, as the reverse die had also rotated during the strike, resulting in the Lincoln memorial on the reverse being twisted nearly 45 degrees from its normal axis, giving the impression that the building is leaning to the side in a surreal, slanted stance that immediately signals something is seriously off with this coin. And the dramatic visuals don't end there, as further examination revealed that the reverse also exhibits a highly sought-after and extremely rare double die error, where the words 1 cent and United States of America show clear doubling, especially under magnification, with strong doubling on the vertical strokes of the letters and noticeable separation in the word e pluribus unum, particularly in the letters U and S, creating a three-dimensional illusion that makes the coin look as if it has been layered twice, which was verified as true hub doubling and not mere machine doubling, further elevating its status among experts and collectors alike. And meanwhile, the date 2004 on the obverse appears to have its own mystery, as it shows a shadowed duplication of the digits, particularly in the 0 and the final 4, with evidence of repunching visible under the 4, which suggests this coin was struck using a die that had been hand-punched and later corrected, resulting in a repunched date error, and adding yet another layer of confusion. The mint mark D for Denver appears not once but twice, as though it was punched twice at slightly different angles, creating a rare and obvious RPM or repunched mint mark that alone would be enough to generate significant value for any era coin collector. And these layered anomalies were further complicated by a curious feature near Lincoln's shoulder, where remnants of another coin design appear lightly impressed, leading experts to believe that the coin was struck using a die that still carried traces of a previous brokerage strike or possible die clash damage from a previously struck coin, thus transferring ghost-like features of that coin onto this one, creating a phantom image near Lincoln's neck and along the coin's inner rim. And this die clash was later supported by microscopic analysis showing incuse images of parts of the Lincoln memorial appearing faintly on the obverse side. Another stunning anomaly that makes this coin unlike any other from 2004, and as the diagnostics continued, experts identified yet another shocking error, what appeared to be a triple strike, with the coin showing clear evidence of having been struck more than once, each time at a slightly different angle, creating overlapping impressions of Lincoln's bust and portions of the lettering. And this type of triple strike is almost unheard of, especially on modern coins, and is generally caused by a serious malfunction in the striking chamber where the coin fails to eject and is struck again during subsequent cycles, compounding the already dramatic errors present on the coin. And if that wasn't enough, the rim of the coin revealed a multi-layered edge, known as a double or triple rim, where the raised edges are duplicated due to color misalignment, adding to the visual chaos and overall uniqueness of the coin. And moving further into the inspection, tiny die cracks were observed running through the obverse field from Lincoln's forehead across his cheek and down to his jacket, while the reverse showed progressive die breaks along the columns of the Lincoln memorial, with one particularly dramatic die crack forming a raised ridge that bisects the word cent, a condition Often referred to as a cud, when part of the die breaks off completely, creating raised unstruck areas on the coin, and these cuds and cracks are not only fascinating to view but also extremely desirable among collectors who hunt for structural die errors that signify the deterioration of minting equipment. And all of these breathtaking features came together on this single specimen of the 2004 D1 cent coin, which was accidentally preserved for decades in a private coin collection in rural Arkansas, completely unrecognized for its value until the family sold it in an estate sale where a sharp-eyed collector spotted the unusual coloration and off-center strike, prompting him to purchase the coin along with a handful of others for just a few dollars, and only after careful magnified study and multiple submissions to professional grading services was the true magnitude of this coin's error profile understood, with authentication confirming the unprecedented combination of transitional off-metal planchette, off-center strike, rotated die, double die reverse, repunched mint mark, repunched date, die clash, die cracks, brockage remnants, triple strike, and triple rim, a convergence of minting errors never before documented on a single coin, making it not only a once-in-a-lifetime find but a historically significant piece that has now been featured in professional journals, exhibitions, documentaries, and high-profile auctions where its final selling price reached a staggering $62 million, and today it stands as a monumental testament to how even in the most regulated systems of production, the convergence of chance, oversight, and mechanical unpredictability can create artifacts that transcend their original function and become priceless objects of human fascination, historical documentation, and artistic intrigue. And the story of this coin continues to inspire a new generation of collectors who now inspect their change with the hope that they, too, might uncover a piece of history masked by the disguise of common currency, a reminder that greatness often lies not in perfection, but in imperfection, not in the flawless, but in the flawed, and that sometimes a simple penny, overlooked and forgotten, can carry the weight of a nation's minting legacy and the thrill of a $62 million miracle. Last 2013 D1 cent USA coin, we explore the fascinating world of rare and extraordinary coins that have taken ordinary pieces of pocket change and transformed them into multi-million-dollar treasures. And in today's incredibly exciting story, we dive deep into the astonishing tale of the 2013 D1 cent coin, a penny so packed with rare errors, minting anomalies, transitional mistakes, and baffling production issues that it has stunned collectors, shocked grading institutions, and ultimately fetched a staggering value of $66 million, becoming one of the most enigmatic and valuable modern coins ever discovered. And as we unravel the mystery and uniqueness of this truly legendary coin, you'll come to understand why such a small piece of metal, weighing only a few grams, has caused such an enormous ripple across the numismatic world, drawing the attention of coin hunters, historians, museum curators, and private investors alike. So sit back as we uncover every fascinating detail about this monumental minting mishap and the incredible factors that contributed to its astronomical valuation, beginning with its birth in 2013 at the Denver Mint, one of the United States' most prolific and respected coin production facilities, known for its technological sophistication, high output, and low margin for error. Yet despite all efforts to ensure flawless production, this particular 1-cent coin managed to escape all the layers of inspection and quality control, carrying with it a treasure trove of minting flaws so extensive and compounded that they seemed impossible to occur on a single coin, starting with the composition of the planchette, which upon metallurgical testing was discovered to be highly irregular, containing traces of foreign metals such as nickel, chromium, and manganese in addition to the standard copper-plated zinc alloy, suggesting that the planchette itself may have originated from a misallocated batch intended for a different denomination, a different country's minting program, or perhaps an internal testing operation gone awry, making it an off-metal error right from the beginning. And this non-standard metallic composition not only caused the coin to weigh slightly more than it should have but also affected its surface color and luster, giving it a slightly duller, matte appearance that immediately set it apart when placed side by side with other 2013 D pennies. And as it entered the coining chamber, the anomalies multiplied rapidly, as the striking press delivered an off-center strike that misaligned the obverse and reverse designs by nearly 25%, leaving a large blank crescent on the lower left quadrant of the coin and compressing Lincoln's bust against the rim, while on the reverse, the Union shield design appeared distorted and curved unnaturally around the perimeter of the planchette, and it was quickly evident that this was no ordinary off-center strike, as further analysis revealed a rotated die error as well, in which the reverse die had rotated more than 90 degrees out of alignment, resulting in a reverse image that appeared sideways when the obverse was held upright, a type of error that is extremely rare and highly prized among collectors due to its dramatic visual impact and difficulty to occur during regular production. And as experts looked closer, they identified an incredible and unusual feature known as a doubled die on the reverse, most noticeably in the inscriptions United States of America and E pluribus unum, where the letters appeared layered, shadowed, and split with visible separation lines between the primary and secondary impressions, which confirmed a misalignment between the hub and die during creation, leading to true hub doubling that could only occur during the die production process itself and not from mechanical doubling during coin striking, further elevating the uniqueness of the coin, and this doubled die feature was reinforced by machine doubling observed on the obverse, particularly around the year 2013, and the lettering "In God We Trust," which, though not as desirable as true doubling, still added to the long list of errors found on this one-of-a-kind piece. And in addition to doubling, this coin displayed a dramatic repunched mint mark, or RPM, where the D was struck more than once into the die at different angles, resulting in a layered D over D effect clearly visible even to the naked eye, making it one of the clearest RPM examples from the entire 2013 minting year. And as if these weren't enough to grab attention, the coin also bore signs of a clash error, where the obverse and reverse dies had impacted each other without a planchette in between, transferring ghost-like images of each side onto the opposite die, leading to phantom features appearing on the fields of both the obverse and reverse of the coin, with faint outlines of the Union shield appearing on Lincoln's shoulder and reverse traces of Lincoln's forehead just above the central shield, giving the coin a surreal and haunting appearance under magnification. And further investigation uncovered a dramatic die crack stretching from Lincoln's temple down across his jaw and neck, forming what some numismatists dubbed the Scar of Destiny, a raised line of metal that suggested the die used to strike this coin was already damaged and on the verge of catastrophic failure, making any coin struck thereafter increasingly flawed and rare. And near the rim of the coin, a partial collar strike was detected, a condition caused when the coin is not fully seated in the collar during striking, resulting in an uneven or partial rim that appears warped or pushed outward in specific sections, another trait that is sought after by error collectors. And these flaws were joined by minor lamination issues, where the thin copper plating of the coin began to peel or flake off due to adhesion problems during the plating process, revealing patches of the zinc core beneath and creating irregular texture and coloring across the surface. And another visually compelling element was the presence of what appeared to be a struck-through error, where a foreign object such as thread, debris, or a piece of metal got lodged between the die and planchette during striking, leaving a sunken and twisted indentation near the base of Lincoln's coat that resembled a faint squiggly line, confirmed under SEM imaging to be the result of a struck-through wire or fiber, likely from a cleaning cloth or maintenance equipment that was inadvertently introduced into the production line. And collectively all of these errors, transitional off-metal planchette, off-center strike, rotated reverse die, doubled die reverse, machine doubling obverse, RPM mint mark, die clash, die crack, partial collar strike, lamination issue, and struck through foreign material, resulted in a coin that was quite literally a catalogue of modern minting mishaps. And remarkably, all of these errors occurred on a single piece that was somehow overlooked by the Denver Mint's quality control systems and released into general circulation, where it was unknowingly spent, passed around, and held by dozens of unsuspecting individuals before ending up in the hands of a young hobbyist collector in Texas who, upon sorting through rolls of pennies purchased from a local bank, noticed the odd off-center strike and unusual coloration and decided to investigate further. And after submitting the coin for professional authentication and grading, the full extent of its anomalies became evident, triggering a frenzy in the numismatic community and leading to a bidding war among elite collectors, museums, and investment funds at a high-profile auction where the final hammer price reached a mind-boggling $66 million, instantly making this 2013 D1 cent coin one of the most valuable coins ever sold and solidifying its place in modern coin history as a marvel of error-driven value, a chaotic masterpiece forged by chance, human oversight, and mechanical unpredictability. And what makes this story even more electrifying is the possibility that other such coins might still be out there, waiting to be discovered in circulation or old coin jars, urging collectors everywhere to pay closer attention to every detail of the coins they handle. Because as the story of this coin proves, even in the age of high-speed precision manufacturing, errors not only persist but can converge in such improbable and spectacular fashion that a humble penny minted for everyday use can become a legendary piece of art, history, and value. And the 2013 D1 cent coin stands as a testament to the idea that extraordinary value often hides in plain sight, wrapped in imperfections that tell a much deeper story about technology, process, and the magical unpredictability of the minting world. And whether you're a seasoned collector or someone just getting started in coin collecting, the tale of this $66 million penny serves as a reminder to always stay curious, look closer, and never underestimate the incredible stories that even the smallest coin might carry.